Hello everyone, and welcome to my third video on my introduction to C++ tutorial. So in the past two videos, we briefly figured out how to get everything started up and with Visual Studio, and also how to do some basic input outputs with some small variables and stuff like that. So today we're gonna really start, writing the bike of programming without the training wheels. Alright, so we're gonna really carve this path for us to become true programmers. So what I'm gonna do though real quick is I'm going to just lift up the text on here so you can probably see it a little better. Okay, let's see. So what I basically just did, if you want to do this too, you can go to Tools, and then on the Tool tab at the very top, you can go to Options, and then go to Fonts and Colors, and just change the font size. We'll do 14. Boom. Perfect. Alright guys, so what we're gonna have to do is, of course, we need our directive of IO stream, and we're going to, of course, need to put using namespace SCA. Alright, so what we can do is we're going to learn about statements and loops. So I went ahead and just created a thing that said just a little file called statements and loops. So all we're going to do is start off with what is a statement. So basically there are really three different kinds of statements, but really there's only two general ones. There's an if statement and an else statement. Now, another programming language, there's three main ones, but in here there's really only two, and you can put them together like an else if. So how we do that is, in order to make a statement, I can tell you what a statement is. It's basically anything that comes after the a statement. It executes a Boolean expression, which means it's a pretty much like a true or false, like a if this is that. And what I mean is, so what we can do is if let's do, so if number equals 2, right? Then we can go ahead and see out. We'll do true. Now what we have to do is we need to initialize this. So we need to create something. Of course, it's just an initial number. So we have to it's a number, and we're gonna name it num. So what we're gonna do is we are going to tell the user, please enter a number 1 through 10. Now, there, of course, we can't forget the semicolon. So now what they're gonna do is the user is gonna enter in a number. Perfect. So now, if this number that they enter in is equal to 2, then it's gonna print out true. So what we can do is, but we have to have a counter statement. So if it is true, then put true. Else, all we really need is down here. We don't really need anything else for it. We just need these parentheses. We'll do cout, and we'll type in false. Alright, can't forget any of the semicolons. So now what we can go ahead and do is start without debugging and go ahead and build it. Alright, we'll just let that build for one quick second. Alright, so it says please enter a number 1 through 10. So I'm gonna do, I don't know, like 1. And it says false. Perfect. So what we need to do actually here, we need to add an inline because it's kind of annoying having that there. So now, go ahead and build that. And now it's going to ask us again. It's just going to say please enter a number 1 through 10. Sorry, I don't know why it's going so slow and not responding. Alright, let's see, come on. There we go. Alright, awesome. So if we do 2 now, it said true. Now, it said, for some reason, I don't like how it cancels out like that just immediately. So what we need to do is we need to add something called a system pause. So this is just to show you that it's actually like it's true. So now what a system pause is basically all you have to do is just type in system, and that lets the system know to do something. And this is gonna be pause. So if we went ahead and did the same thing, it'll say please enter a number, and if we do 2, now it says true. And then now it didn't just immediately cancel out when you press any key to continue. So if we did exit, what we could do is if we did 2, it immediately exited. So yeah, that pretty much counts it right there. So this is basically a brief example of what an if statement and an else statement is. So I can go over basically the reason why you have an open parentheses right next to it is because you're declaring what it is. So if this is this, then you know, count or whatever. And then, you know, your other option else, then you count whatever. So if this is true, count true. If this is false, then else, count false. All right. So that was a brief little thing on ifs and else statements. So what I meant by there's a third one, it basically is just an else, an else if, but we don't need to do that right now. It's not really like huge. But what we will do is learn what a loops are. All right. So there are 3 main loops. I'm sorry. There's 2 main loops. There's a while loop and a for loop. A while loop is going to execute a statement while something is true or false. Next, then a for statement is pretty much just going to do something a certain amount of times, and I will go over that. So we can do a simple while, and I can show you exactly what I mean by while. It'll execute something continuously. It's a constant loop of something, unless it is false or unless it is true, depending on what you're declaring, really. So let's just declare another number. So we can say initial, we'll do num. Alright. And then basically while, so we'll go ahead and do while num equals, let's say 2. So we needed to go ahead and do the the count. Please enter a number between 1 and 10. I need that inline because I don't want that stupid thing. Ah, jeez. I want the end line. And then what we can do now is go ahead. Gosh, I don't know why that's so far out. Okay. Alright. Oh, good lord. Alright, perfect. Hate it when that thing does that. Anyway, if you ever get stuck on something like that, where your thing looks like that, and you know what I mean, like it's stupid. Just go ahead and hit the insert key on your keyboard, and it just immediately gets rid of it. Alright, anyway. So, now what we could do is, we need a CN, and we need to do the number. So while the number equals 2, we could go ahead and see out, I don't know. Yeah, let's just do what we had before. Let's go true. Okay. So, inline that. Now what it's gonna do is, if we enter in a number that is equal to, if we equal it to 2, it'll count true continuously into a giant loop. So we can go ahead and hit that. Yes, build. Alright, please enter a number with it. I'll hit 2. Boom. It's continuously going through a loop and writing true. And this will go on forever and ever and ever, so you don't just sit there and watch it. So now what we can do is we can add actually an if statement. So if num does not equal 2, then we can go ahead and see out false. So since this is not a loop, if we went ahead and built it, oh, sorry, I'll just put an end line there. Okay, boom. If I did 1, boom, it pretty much just cut it right out. So if we add, so while number does not equal 2, we can go ahead and print out the false. Boom. So now it's continuously doing false. So those are two pretty much examples on loops and statements. Awesome. So now we can go ahead and do an example of a for loop. Alright, so we'll go ahead and let's just delete. Let's just do something simple. So we can go ahead and do so for, let's do initial A equals 10, then so A is less than 20. We'll do the semicolon. A equals A, I don't know, let's do plus 1. Alright. And then we can go ahead and see out. So value of A equals, value of A, we'll just do that. There we go. Then we'll add, we have to add the plus, of course, the plus, and then we'll do A. And then we'll go ahead, you know what, let's just do this. This is much easier sometimes. A, then inline. Okay. So now what we can do, what is just go ahead and run this. Alright, for some reason it wanted to do something weird. I don't know, that was a weird bug, but let's go ahead and put a system pause in there so we can kind of see what's going on. Oh, oops. Rookie mistake. Alright, so and now it says the value of A is 10. Alright, everyone. So sorry about that. Looks like I just made a really stupid mistake. So this works. So what this is gonna do is when you build it, we have a system pause. So it's gonna say the value of A is 10. So we'll go ahead and hit enter, and it's gonna give us 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Now, why didn't it give us 20? Because we go A is less than 20. So if A equaled 20, it wouldn't print anything out. It has to be less than 20. So anything less than 20, it'll print out. And we started off at 10. So we can start off at 1 and go ahead and do the exact same thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to 19. Now if you wanted to do 20, you just have to change that to 21. And boom. So we can go ahead and explain what's going on. So what's going on is for initial A to equal 1, that's we're already initializing it here. And you're asking yourself, so why don't we initialize it up here, Paul? Why not up here? Because we're initializing it in the loop, and that's what a for loop does. We basically just go ahead and initialize something in, like, just in here, in the loop. So we initialize A, and we equal at 1. So as long as A is less than 21, so we're gonna add a number to A equal every single time. So we know that A is here, right? A is the value. So where A equals A plus 1. So we're gonna go ahead and add 1 each time we do this. Each time it goes through it, it's gonna add it every single time until we get A is less than 21. Does that make sense? So that's what we're pretty much doing. The reason why it was messing me up earlier was because I was trying to figure out why it wasn't doing anything, but that was just because we had the system pause in there. It's been really buggy without the system pause. It'll just go ahead and like really print it out immediately. So I don't know why it's been doing that, but anyway, sweet. So we just went over if statements, else statements, for loops, while loops, and stuff like that. So before I end today's video, let's go ahead and do just a very simple let's just do a very simple program that is about maybe 20 or so lines. So, and this is actually really fun. What we're gonna do is we're going to create an application that prints out the number 1 through 10 while giving it the actual number itself, the number 10, and then we're gonna have the square root of it next to it, and then we're also gonna have the number squared, and then the number cubed. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and initialize something here, and we're gonna initialize x. So, and then we're gonna make it equal to 1. Yeah, that's good. Alright, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead, you know, I totally forgot, we need to add something here. We have to add a new header, which is gonna be called C Math, which is gonna give us, which is actually gonna help us doing all the math. So, we have to create a while loop. So while x is less than 11, we'll go ahead and see out everything that we need. So we'll go ahead and do number equals and then x. Perfect. And then we'll go ahead and just add like a semicolon, sure, just to separate everything, you know, because we're gonna do the number, oops, sorry, number square root is gonna equal to x. Oh yeah, so for square roots, if we want to square root any number, all we have to do is type in sqrt. Boom, perfect, right there. And then whatever our variable or value is. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. We're gonna do x. Then we'll go ahead and do another semicolon. Alright, and then go ahead and do number, we'll do squared equals, now in order to do a squared number, we basically have to do it to the power of. Anything you want to do, squared, cubed, whatever, you have to just do the power of. What I mean by that is do power. And then we have to do x 2. Which means x is going to be the power of 2. Then we'll go ahead and add another semicolon and line. Oh no, we need to do one more. And we'll do power. Actually, number cubed is going to equal power of x and 3. Then we can go ahead and put our last semicolon. Perfect. End line. Perfect. So now all we have to do is do x is equal to x plus 1. Because now all we're doing is just we're making sure that we're adding the number. Otherwise it would just be stuck at 1. So we might have to add a system pause in there. Oh, oops, I'm so sorry. Semicolon. Yeah, okay. So alright. So add semicolon. So on system pause. What it's gonna do now is it's gonna give us, oh shoot. Okay. We did 2. Okay. So basically we changed the number to 2, and it gave us the number is 2. Number square root is 1.14, and then number squared is 4, number cubed is 8. So wonder why it did you know what if we change this to a double? So what a double allows is it allows it to pretty much like go into the decimals. So if we really needed it to, we could do like 2.5, and that would change the whole entire thing. See, number is 2.5, square root of that, number squared, number cubed. So then, well, we'll just stick with 2. So what we can do is, since we had the pause, we can continue. So then 3, we have now the square root of that, and then squared, and then cubed. Keep going all the way up till 10. And that will give us everything that we need for the square roots, squares, and cubes. Alright guys, I hope you learned a lot today. I'm gonna have to go ahead and pause the video here today, and then on our next video we can get started into writing some just more basic applications, and then yeah, probably in the next video we'll be going over arrays, vectors, and lists. Alright guys, well I hope you stay tuned. If you have any questions, please comment down below, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible, guys. Well, you have a good rest of your day.